Hi everyone, welcome to Rachel Pichler Yoga. If we haven't met before, my name is Rachel. Today our yoga practice is going to create flexibility throughout our legs. So I am going to suggest having a strap of some kind to use today. That could be a long sock, a belt, a tie, a hand towel rolled up. Anything that's going to make your arms a little bit longer would be great. And then you're just going to need a little bit of space to move, and let's get started. All right, you guys, so we're going to start today just sitting down, having your strap with you if you've got something to use today, and if you don't have anything, that's completely fine. But let's bring our right leg out and our left foot towards our inner thigh. And then I want you just to make sure your leg is coming straight out in front of you and bend your right knee. And then we're going to put our strap right under our toes on the ball of that foot. And I want you to take an inhale and lengthen your spine and just start to gently pull on your strap. And then you might just slide or walk your heel further away to find some length through that right leg and a stretch throughout the back of it. So if you've got nice tight hamstrings, nice tight calves, you might have a nice big bend in your knee. And you might stay there. If you have a little bit more space to work with, you might even be tipping forwards. Some of these things we're going to do today, you might find you don't even need the strap, but you've got one anyways. And you can just toss it to the side. But we're just trying to stretch the back of our leg here and gently encouraging the toes towards the ceiling with this lovely strap. And you can lower the chest as far as your body wants you to go to deepen that stretch through the leg. Awesome, you guys. And then using an inhale, just start to lift your upper body all the way up. If you were folding forwards, you can take your strap off of your foot for a moment. We're just going to pivot a little bit. So turning to that left side, turn over to that left side so that your right leg is out wide, half a straddle, and your left leg is somewhere in front of you. So if you do need to adjust, you might be sending your right leg out really wide. It was in front of us, now it's out wide. And I want you to point your toes up towards the ceiling. We're going to bring our strap back into this. So place it right on the ball of your foot, just under your toes, not so much the bottom of the foot, the heel, or the middle of the foot, but right under those toes. Taking that chest and shining it forwards, and just the strap might actually be just useful in that right hand, both hands. Right hand if you're only going to pick one. That left hand could even come beside you for some support, and just gently encourage your toes up to the ceiling, and then adding a little tip forwards if it feels good. If it feels good, try to let the chest come straight down, gently pulling on that strap, nice and gentle, just to keep those toes pointing up to the ceiling. Again, you might be reaching for your foot. You might not need your strap. And this left hand here is actually just kind of keeping me centered, feeling this through the inner leg, that right inner leg, or maybe other places. Nice, you guys. And then using an inhale to slowly start to lift your upper body all the way back up, and you can just take your strap off of your foot, and we're just going to switch sides so you can maybe pivot back to the way you were facing before, sending your left leg out, your right foot to the inner thigh. So the legs coming straight out in front of us this time. You have the option to start with a nice bent leg if you know you're staying here, or you can just send that leg out long if you know you're straightening it. But find what works for you. Play with it. Where do you find the best stretch for the back of that left leg? And then let's take an inhale to lengthen the spine. You might stay sitting tall, or you might exhale and fold it forwards. And soften your shoulders wherever you're at. Finding your breath. Nice work, you guys. And using an inhale to lift your upper body all the way back up. And we're just going to pivot again. I pivoted to the right side last time, mostly just to stay on my mat. But this time, I'm just going to send my left leg out to the side. And you can adjust that right leg. And you can send that left leg out as wide as you need to bring it. Adding the strap if you're using one. And maybe just using the strap into that left hand. The right hand can come to the side for support. Take an inhale, lengthen your spine. Face your chest forward as best you can. Straps just making our arms nice and long so we don't have to compromise the spine and the upper body. Get all twisted up. So you can start to fold forwards if it feels good to do so. If you don't find that inner thigh stretch, maybe bring your hand a little closer to your foot, even pushing into the right hand to send the sit bones into the floor a little bit more can deepen that stretch. And just lower the chest as much as feels good. And trying to feel a little something through the inner leg. Nice job, you guys. And with an inhale, we're just going to lift ourselves all the way back up. You can take your strap off your foot, bring that leg back in, give yourself just a little hug, rock it out a little bit. And then let's send both of our legs out long, adding the strap. So, something a little different for this forward fold, you guys. I want you to bring your feet about mat width apart. So you might want to use the strap and you might not want to use the strap, depending on how long it is. If you've only got a hand towel that's not that long, you don't have to use it, or you could actually bring your feet a little bit closer together. But if you're here with me, just take an inhale to lengthen your spine. And you might stay here, toes are just pointing up towards the ceiling. And you might tip forwards as you exhale. And you might want to adjust where you're hanging on to your strap as gracefully as you can. And maybe the strap isn't working, isn't doing much for you. Maybe you're just grabbing your feet. But just fold forwards. And any discomfort through the low back, you can take an inhale and re-lengthen the spine. Keep the spine long. You might even have some nice bent knees. Whatever feels right for you. Just stretch the back of the legs. Nice, you guys. And using an inhale, slowly start to lift your upper body all the way back up. And you can actually move your strap off to the side. Staying in a nice comfy seat. We're going to start to cross our legs. So you can bring your left leg out long and your right foot over top. And then we're going to try and drop the right knee towards the left. So we're trying to stretch the right leg and the right glute, the top leg. So resting the side of your foot instead of the bottom of your foot might help drop that knee and add a nice stretch for that top leg. You can keep your left leg out, forward fold, still stretching the bottom of that bottom leg, that left leg, or you can bend it in for full cow face. Getting into those glutes here, trying to stack the knees. Squeezing the inner thighs together a little bit. But either way, just take an inhale and lengthen your spine first. And then as you exhale, you can add a forward fold if it feels good. Just try to encourage your sit bones into the floor. They kind of like to lift up. And you might be getting into that right glute, that top leg. You might feel this through all of your lower body. Just feel your chest get a little heavier if you're folding. Awesome, you guys. And using an inhale, we're just going to start to lift ourselves all the way back up, and we're just going to switch sides. So you can uncross your legs, switch it up. Maybe that right leg's coming out and the left leg's coming over top. Again, trying to encourage the knees towards one another, the inner thighs towards one another. You can keep your bottom leg straight. You can bend it in. Whatever suits you today. I'm wiggling around a little bit here just to make sure both my sit bones are connecting to the floor. So take an inhale to lengthen and an exhale to fold if you're folding. Nice, you guys. Using an inhale, let's slowly start to lift back up. My left leg is a lot tighter than my right leg today, so that side felt pretty darn good. You can unwind your legs, uncross it, give yourself a little hug, a little shake. And then we're going to come onto our hands and knees. Have your strap close to you again. And let's bring our right foot forward, setting up a lunge. And if you do want a little cushion for your back knee, feel free to roll your mat over. Finding that left hip flexor, sinking those hips forwards. Awesome, you guys. So you have the option to stay here in this lunge, chest down, hands on the floor, lengthening that left hip flexor. If you want to get fancy today and add a quad stretch to this, we're just going to be reaching our right hand back for our left foot. So the strap might come in handy here. You're going to keep your left hand down and then just reaching back for that right foot. So maybe using the strap, maybe your foot's in your hand and you don't need your strap. If it feels good, the right knee can actually kind of fall out to the side if that helps you balance, if that feels good. And if not, any discomfort through the knee there, you can just keep that knee coming in towards your chest. Awesome, you guys. And if you do have your foot and your strap in your hand, just slowly let it go. Nice and slow. And then we're just going to send the hips back for a moment. Release that hip flexor. Lengthen that right leg, a little half splits. And then you can slowly start to shift your weight forwards again, bending your knee. And coming onto your hands and knees. So maybe rocking your hips side to side a little bit. Maybe sitting on your heels for a moment. We're just switching sides. We're going to bring our left foot forwards. Keep the right knee down. Sinking into those hips. Finding that left hip flexor. So maybe rolling the mat over for a little extra cushion for that back knee. Find that right hip flexor. Soften your shoulders. And if you do want to add that quad stretch, left hand reaching back for that right foot or your strap, hang on to your strap with your left hand. And you can either keep the knee coming to the chest. My knee loves to fall out to the side and it just lets me stretch my quad and my right hip so much more. So not a full lizard, but letting a little bit more space come into the hips. So a good opportunity to play with it, try both, find what works best for you. Nice job, you guys. And if you've got your foot, slowly start to let it go. You can send your hips back as well. Release the hip. Find that hip flexor again. Awesome. And then slowly just shifting your weight forwards and bringing that left knee back down to the floor. And just sit on your heels for a moment, resting on the top of the feet. And you can stay here. You might even be standing on your knees if that stretches the top of your feet and your ankles. Or maybe you want to lean back and lift the knees and stretch the top of the ankles, the top of the feet. Either way, just relax your shoulders. And your hands can stay behind you. I forgot to mention that. Or if you can float, you can rest your hands in your lap in front of your heart. Nice, you guys. And if your knees are lifted up, slowly, gracefully, bring them back down. Give them a little shake. Shake it out, and then just cross your ankles, have a seat. That is it. That is all for today. I hope that you enjoyed the practice and enjoy the rest of your day. And until next time, namaste.